So hi out there in Flosstube land. This is Tina Frazier coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. Today is Saturday, January 18th at approximately 11:45 p.m. Eastern Time. This is my Flosstube number 82. I am doing that mainly because I'm hoping to just kind of upload this to YouTube without doing much editing to it. Just coming to you with a little bit of an update. I am in the process of editing my next diamond painting installment. It's kind of a short one. It's about 36 minutes, so I guess it's long too. It's not really super long, but I was thinking it was only going to be a 10 or 15 minute video, but it ended up being like 30 some minutes. So anyway, you'll get a little bit more of this update on that one. But I've been a little kind of busy the last couple of weeks. Since my last upload, a really dear friend, you'll hear this in my diamond painting video too that I'm in the process of editing and uploading. But 2 weeks ago, tomorrow, those of you around the country may have heard of the Pennsylvania Turnpike accident that happened on very early Sunday morning 2 weeks ago. I lost a good friend in that accident. She was one of the casualties. She was one of the people that died on the bus. She was on the bus on her way here to Columbus to meet up with a bunch of roller derby friends of mine. She was a roller derby skater with our league. She had been with our league for a good 10 years. Got to know her really well. And my whole entire league, a lot of my friends, were all pretty devastated by her loss. She was traveling here to Columbus to meet up with quite a few of us. And we never got to see her. So just, keep everybody in your thoughts and prayers. It's been kind of a difficult 2 weeks, shocking, heartbreaking. It's really sad. She was buried in Foxfield Preserve, which is about 2 hours northeast here in Columbus. Foxfield Preserve is a natural burial place where they kind of, they don't embalm you. They put you in a very simple pine box, and they bury you in the ground. And over time, your body just returns to the soil, through natural decomposition and everything. And there's fields and prairies and, birds and stuff. It's a park. It's basically a park you can go visit. So hopefully sometime later this year, I will make a trip up there and go visit my friend who is now resting in peace. But yeah, we had a memorial for her today. It was a lot of fun. I've seen some friends I haven't seen in probably 10 or 15 years there today. We really enjoyed it. It was fun. Had a good time. So just kind of keep us in your thoughts because it's been a rough 2 weeks. I do find myself on occasion I'll sit there scrolling through Facebook, and somebody will share a post, and it just kind of makes me cry. It's really sad. But, we're all kind of dealing with loss in our own way, but it was kind of nice just to get together with some of my friends, a lot of my roller derby friends. I'm wearing my OHRD roller derby shirt today because most of my friends were roller derby skaters that knew her. But anyway, so that being said, I got some stuff to show you. So I've been kind of busy I got some new things. So I had to order Mom a project bag from GaRon Tottenbags for her diamond painting light pad that she got for Christmas. So while I ordered her one, I got another GaRon Tottenbags GaRon Tottenbags project bag for cross stitching. You can see now they have their GaRon Tottenbags little label at the bottom. This is their 12 by 13 size, and it just has a Velcro closure. It's really pretty fabric, snowflake fabric on the inside. It's really pretty, and it's just winter cardinals. And it also, I moved the label to the inside, but it has this little card label, GaRon Tottenbags. You can find them on Facebook. Just look up GaRon Tottenbags on Facebook, and you can find them. That's how you can place the order. You can get on their Grime Guard of the Month Club or their Project Bag of the Month Club. But Mom's project bag is the same fabric. It's only bigger because her light pad would not fit in this size. So I have a new project bag from GaRon Tottenbags. Thank you, Gary and Wayne. Ronnie. Gary and Ronnie. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to call them right. Gary and Ronnie from GaRon Tottenbags. Thank you very much for the nice bag. So, wanted to get into some stitchy things. Oh, one of the other new things I got the next installment for the Snow Village set. This is the Peppermint Parlor from the Snow Village from Country Cottage Needleworks. I do have the fabric and stuff to start this. So this is probably going to be a start sometime soon for me. I also picked up some fancy flosses. I just picked up some of the Classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works threads that I needed for various projects. So we have, this one is a Magnolia Blossom. It's kind of a buttercream. This is Licorice Red. This is Classic Colorworks Just Rust. This is Weeks Dye Works Palomino. It's a nice brown. This is Weeks Dye Works Honeysuckle. A little kind of butter yellow. This is Weeks Dye Works Dutch Iris. So I got a couple of new colors. I don't know yet. I don't quite know yet what project these go to, but added to my stash. We have the Snow Village, the next installment of Snow Village from Country Cottage Needleworks. Okay, so I showed you that. I forgot to show you a finish that I had in my last video. So, I have the Mill Hill Needlework Trilogy. I finished Mary. So here is Mary. Let me Here is Mary. And I got the back stitching done. And everything. The beading is done. Everything's done on Mary. So My Ohio Mary is finished. I have a story behind My Ohio Mary. So I started stitching this originally several years ago. Went to California, was stitching it on the plane, and promptly left it on the plane. My Mary became My Ohio Mary. So it's kind of an inside joke between me and my local needlework shop, Cross My Heart, here in Columbus. Everybody keeps teasing me about leaving her on the plane. So they keep telling me, don't leave her on the plane. So yeah, this is my second iteration of Mary. So she is the only one out of the nativity set that I have completed. I will put this behind her again. She is the only one out of the nativity set that I have completed. I'm probably going to work on the baby Jesus next. I don't know yet which one I'll work on, but that's coming out. I'm hoping to get a few of these done this year because they're fairly quick stitches, even though this one took me technically a couple years to finish. But I do have a finish on Mary. My Ohio Mary. A lot of people are probably going to be like, how dare you? But, oh well. But yeah, so anyway. Yep. She is not left on the plane. So I do have pretty much all the other nativity kits, but she is finished, finito. And I don't know, I may kind of give away a chart. Who knows? I may give away a chart later. So My Ohio Mary is finished. So there was my finish. Woohoo! I have a finish. But this was finished I think before the first of the year I had her finished. And I just forgot to tell you. Alright, so on to plans. Alright, so I've been doing Passion Planner. I am kind of a little bit of a memory planner. Like for instance, this was this past week. You see we had a home inspection. That's new. That is some new stuff that I have for you. And I also have project tracking. You can see I have several different cross stitch projects there, and I have tracking for different things I do during the week. I've kind of been working the last couple of weeks on a couple of different projects. So yeah, so here was last week's tracker, and you can see I actually put some stitches in on Welcome to Pumpkinville and Amid Amish Life. I will kind of go into those and share those with you. This week I put some stitches here. You can see I put some stitches here on Wednesday night on Blossom Blade and stuff like that, so I will show you. I also kind of have updated some stuff, like here is my 2020 WIP Go board again. For January, I have to work on Jessica Yurka's Four Seasons and Welcome to Pumpkinville. I have worked on Welcome to Pumpkinville this month, so that is actually getting some love. I have yet to work on Jessica Yurka's Four Seasons. I just haven't picked it up yet. I need to do so before the end of the month to get at least some progress on it. We're not allowed to mark out the WIP Go bingo boards until we've completed our goal for this. And if you see down here, my goal is all goals are 1,000 stitches unless otherwise noted. So I do have some stitches on Welcome to Pumpkinville. It's not 1,000, it's probably 300 or 400. So once I hit 1,000 stitches, I can mark that square off. So it'll probably be a little bit before I get there. When we go back over here, I have added some more WIPs to my WIP tracker here. So I have listed The Mini Enchanted Christmas Reindeer by Donna Gelsinger from Heaven and Earth Designs, Princess and the Pea by Jasmine Beckett Griffith by Heaven and Earth Designs, Amid Amish Life Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. I'm using the magazine pattern for that. Words to Live by Tiny Modernist, and Welcome to Pumpkinville by Frosted Pumpkin. I've worked on 4 of these 5 projects so far this year. So this just kind of lists out the projects that I've worked on. You can see I've worked on them here. I haven't really been tracking my stitches on this like I really should, but anyway, so I haven't documented any new stitching projects, but there you go. So as I'm talking about goals and stuff this year, so I'm doing WIP Go, as you can see. It is one of the things I'm doing for 2020. I can show you the progress on Frosted Pumpkin Welcome to Pumpkinville here in a minute, but yeah, so one of the other things that I'm keeping track of is I am in the School of Magical Stitches, and as you know, we are doing a Disney theme this year. So for School of Magical Stitches, let's see, our group, I'm in the Boardwalk group and the Boardwalk Resort group, and so we've done our transportation and ticketing. I worked on Princess and the Pea. I did 255 tent stitches for that. I had a goal of 125 stitches or 250 stitches. I did 255 stitches on that, so I was able to claim the transportation and ticketing. I haven't done any January extra credit for School of Magical Stitches because I'm just not really keeping up to it. We have 5 different prompts that we're supposed to stitch on, but yeah, I'm just not stitching those. So we're also reading Kingdom Keepers by Ridley Pearson. I have finished the Kingdom Keepers book for School of Magical Stitches. But the week 1 was the intro week. We had to pick a character and stitch 200 stitches on one project for that. I chose Finn. He's a self-confident leader, and I chose to work on Words to Live by Tiny Modernist because that's what those are the kinds of things that leaders live by. So I did complete 207 stitches on that, and I completed that on January 3rd. So I actually completed the week 1 homework. We only had like 3 or 4 days to do it instead of like a full week. But yeah, I managed to complete that so far. that is the only School of Magical Stitches homework assignment that I've completed. I'm keeping track here in my kind of notebook. Once I get done here, I will show you my other tracker, 3-ring binder that I'm doing for stitching this year. So amid all of that, so in order to, we unlocked, so basically what we're doing is kind of stitching our way through the Magic Kingdom. So the first part that we had to unlock was transportation and ticketing. Our goal was 125 stitches or 250 tent stitches. Our group finished that like second day, January. And so we were able to do that. The next thing was to unlock how to get to the parks. So we had to do the ferry and or the monorail, and each of those was 50 stitches. I stitched on Pumpkinville for all 100 stitches of that, and I finished those on January 2nd, so I can actually show you. And those stitch counts also went towards WIP Go, because Welcome to Pumpkinville is on my WIP Go thing. So the next one is to stitch up Main Street. We had to do 100 stitches each for that to unlock it. And I also worked on Pumpkinville for that one. And so I did 107 stitches on that. I completed that January 4th. And the next thing was Frontierland. We had to do 150 stitches to do the badge because of the week that I've had last week after dealing with the death of my friend. I worked on Pumpkinville on that also. So Pumpkinville has been for me since the beginning for Ferry, the monorail, Main Street, and Frontierland. And I finished the 150 stitches on Pumpkinville on January 9th. Now we're stitching towards Cinderella's Castle. We have to stitch 1,000 stitches to get the badge for Cinderella's Castle. I haven't started anything for that yet, so I don't know what project I'm going to do. It has to be 1,000 stitches on the same project, so I don't know what I'm going to do for that just yet. So week two homework was we had 4 different prompts that we had to stitch for, and you had to stitch 200 stitches for each prompt at 2 points each, or stitch penalty stitches of 250 for each of the ones you can't do. I didn't do any of the week 2 homework, not even penalty stitches. I thought about doing penalty stitches, but part of the reason why I couldn't do it was because I couldn't figure out what I was going to do, what projects would fit them. So like the first one was object with human characteristics. So like wearing clothing, etc., but it had to be non-human. I couldn't really think of anything. I probably have something started in my stash that I could have worked on for the 200 stitches. But again, I was kind of dealing with the death of a friend and just some other stuff going on real life-wise that kind of kept me from even really trying any of these prompts. So the second prompt was stitch a project that stretches you. I was going to consider doing Princess of the Pea, but considering that I hadn't even started penalty stitches for the first one, yeah, I didn't do this one either. So I was going to do Princess and the Pea because it's long. It's really long rather than wide, so it's stretched a lot. The third prompt for week 2 relates to a fire station. Yeah, I was just not feeling it this week. And then the 4th prompt was 200 stitches in black. Didn't do any of those. Didn't even do any penalty stitches. So I just kind of worked on some other things. Okay. So Keenan Keepers week 3 ends tomorrow night. And because I'm having trouble kind of finding something for the first prompt, haven't started the first prompt. And I probably could have used the 365 stitches I put in the the 365 stitches I put in Blossom Blade this week. I probably could have put towards the penalty for at least one of them, but yeah, I'm not even going to count that. So I have not started week 3. I still haven't started Cinderella's Castle. So I'm probably going to keep track of what the prompts are for School of Magical Stitches for every week, all the weekly challenges, and I'm probably going to keep up with the reading. I did read the book, Kingdom Keepers, Book 1, Disney After Dark by Ridley Pearson was really, really good. I actually really liked it a lot. The part that I liked the best about it was just all the kids being able to kind of go through the rides and all the secret trapdoors and secret passageways and stuff that they were able to encounter. But so I did enjoy the second book, or the first book in the series, and the first book of the year. The second book is for February, and it is the Disney Villain series. I forget her name, Victoria? Maybe it's not Victoria. Anyway, but it starts with the fairest of all, or fairest of them all. And it's basically the villain's side of all of the Disney stories. So the first one is the villain side of Snow White. So that'll be kind of interesting. I'm going to be trying to read it on my Kindle to see if I really like it. And then if I really like it, I'm just going to go buy the first trilogy or the first 3 books in a set. And that way I'll have them as books. But yeah, I'm going to try reading on my Kindle for the first time. Or it's not really my Kindle, but it's my tablet. Because I have a tablet, a new-to-me tablet for Christmas. It was sort of Christmas. It was when my mom got her new phone, I got a new tablet. And I have the Kindle app on there, and the first books of the series that we're reading for School of Magical Stitches are free on the Kindle. So I downloaded the one for February. So I'm going to see if I like reading on the Kindle by reading that book. And then if I like the book, I'm probably just going to go buy the actual physical hard copy book from Barnes & Noble. So anyway, that's pretty much it for School of Magical Stitches. Week 3 ends tomorrow. And I haven't even started week 3 homework yet. So, okay. That being said, do I have any notes in my notebook for what I want to talk about next? 22 minutes. I think I'm doing okay. Yeah. Okay. So I can talk about that too. So, as I was saying my plans, I'm kind of tracking School Magical Stitches in my, just my little notebook here, my little spiral notebook. And then, I'm going to be once the pages are full, I'm going to be transferring them into my binder. This is my tracking binder that I have for my cross-stitch stuff this year. So, over here, on this side is just tag questions. And I have some, some of my January, like, out 24 hours of cross-stitch things. So then over here, I'm going to put you down a little bit. So then over here, I have this broke up. This is annuals. So this is all the general stuff. Like I have another copy of my WIP Go board in here so I can keep track of it. So that's just my WIP Go board. And then this is Cross Stitch Frog Busters. Cross Stitch Frog Busters, somebody posted a challenge. It was supposed to be a 2-week challenge to see how many snowmen you can build. So the challenge was to complete the following stitch goals in order to build your snowmen. And so you had this goes until the 21st, but I'm actually not actively participating in this right now because it's going on. But I kind of wrote down the guidelines because at some point this year, I think it'd be kind of fun to do this, like maybe a snowstorm in July kind of thing where I'm, following this. So to build your snowman, if you want a 1-ball body, you stitch 750. If you want a 2-ball body, you stitch 1,000. Your head is 500. So you can either do a 1-ball body, a 2-ball body, or no body and stitch a head. Scarf is 350 stitches. Buttons are 250 stitches each. The arms are 500. The carrot nose is 400. The hat is 600. And coal is 300 per lump. So you can kind of customize your snowman based on those guidelines. So that seemed kind of fun. And 1 full cross stitch equals 1 stitch. 1 French knot is a stitch. 2 back stitches is a stitch, and 2 half crosses are a stitch. So you would double these amounts for back stitches and half crosses. But it's Build a Snowman, and this came from the Cross Stitch Frogbusters group. Sounds like a lot of fun. I'm probably going to do this later this year. So my next tracking sheet comes from Semi-Sane Stitchers. This is one of their stitch alongs. It switches off every 2 weeks. This is Alphabet Soup. And I wasn't sure that I was going to do anything for this, but as you can see, Alphabet Soup A went from January 1st to January 14th. For A, I worked on a mid-Amish life, and I did my start post and my end post, so I got that. I was able to complete that. A mid-Amish life. Now, the whole plan for Alphabet Soup is you have to pick a designer name or the pattern name to go along with it, and it has to be the first letter of either the first or last name or the first letter of one of the words in the pattern name. You can leave out an, a, the, whatever. But for B, you can see I picked out Blossom Blade by Charting Creations. So I have some progress to show on that too, because I have started it and I did work on some this week. That goes from the 15th to the 28th. Then on the 29th, I think these are every other Wednesday. I believe is every other Wednesday is the next thing. So on the 29th, we switch over to the letter C. I haven't yet figured out what it's going to be. I've been enjoying working on Blossom Blade, so I may make that C for Charting Creations, because that's the company, that's the pattern company that came out with it. Charting Creations. C, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I might do Cool Yule by Hands On Design, because that's the sulky thing, and I could probably get it done in 2 weeks. But I don't know yet. I don't know. This is going to kind of evolve throughout the year as I determine every 2 weeks kind of what pattern I want to work on. So that is that. And then these next few pages in the annual part are just some more of the School of Magical Stitches. A lot of this is extra credit. Like we have the resorts. You stitch through the resorts. There's different things you can do to earn your points for this. The Deluxe Villas. You can stitch 5,000 stitches in 500 stitch increments. All of this is School Magical Stitches stuff, so yeah. And this is just all the extra credit stuff, and either watch it or stitch it. It's just all of that that you can find in the School of Magical Stitches. It's just all the annual stuff. And then we have Stitch Talk, the group by Portia Parcher for Heaven and Earth Designs. She has some annual stuff going on too. Like this first one is the second annual Stitch Around the World. So she has Stitching Around the World broke up in these different tasks. I may at some point start this again. I started it last year, only got to like the third or fourth leg because I quit counting. And I just quit caring. But hate to break it to you, I might actually start this sometime soon, later this year. It's probably not going to be January, February when I start stitching it. But anyway, the Stitch Around the World, it has 22 legs, and then you can make it. So that is the first Stitchmas annual challenge. The goal is to stitch around the world before the end of 2020. The second one runs from January 1st to December 31st. This is Stitch the Appalachian Trail. So the Appalachian Trail is divided into these different mileage. You just stitch those and whatnot. So I may actually pick a month and stitch the Appalachian Trail, because there's not a lot. I may actually kind of make that like a monthly goal. So you have Stitch the Appalachian Trail. Mom and Dylan are talking in the living room. Then this is the road trip around the USA. basically starting at somebody's house, and you follow all these different locations, stitch that many miles, stitch that many stitches for the number of miles that it is, and you will find yourself stitching around the world. It goes a couple of pages. It's a couple pages long, so it goes quite a while. Or stitch around the USA, rather. And then you will end up back at your destination. Alright, so then we get into the January challenges that some of you may know I've already started. So we have the 24 hours of cross stitch group. This is just a monthly tracker where you can write what projects you worked on, how long you worked on them. And if you work 24 minutes, they say to do 24 minutes a day for the 24 hours of cross stitch. And track it. That's the way you can do it. There is also this other challenge on a Facebook group called Stitch 20 in 20. Stitch 20 in 20. So for every day, you stitch at least 20 minutes a day, and you track it. Stitch 20 minutes a day for every single day in 2020. I haven't done that. I haven't even done this. So anyway, so that's the 24 hours of cross stitch. Stitch 24 minutes a day. This is the 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic. The acrostic is ready, set, XS, exclamation. They have it mostly filled out. I don't have anything for R in here. E is Earth Dancer. Finish Earth Dancer. I haven't done that yet. Amid Amish Life, 480 stitches. I'll have to count. I think I might be able to complete that. Donna Gelsinger, Enchanted Reindeer, 1,200 half stitches. I don't know if I'll be able to get that or not. Y, Jacek Yurka, 4 Seasons. The first S is Secret Slay Society. I don't have anything for the E, the second E. T is Teresa Wensler Fantasy Triptych, 480 stitches. The X, I don't have anything down for the X yet. And the second S is Santa of the Forest. I'd like to put in 480 stitches on that. And the last one is Joy to the World. 2 weeks until the end of the month. I don't think I'm going to finish many of these at all. Just because of everything going on and life stuff and trying to buy a house. A little bit of a news update. And then this is the 24 hours of cross stitch January holidays. The goal with this is at some point in the year just to link up one of your projects with any of the holidays, the goofy little holidays, and stitch on it. Haven't done any of those for this month either. And then this is the Disney After Dark for School of Magical Stitches. Since this is the book for this month, I put this under January. These are the number of stitches you need basically to stitch through each chapter in the book. And there's a lot. I haven't done this either. I might actually move that to an annual thing soon. So also in January from this is from the Stitch Talk group, is Everest Base Camp Trek in Nepal. So the start date is January 1st. The end date is December 31st. So for each month, I put this in here because for each month, you have a set number of stitching hours that you need to stitch. I haven't tracked this by hours, so I haven't put anything in for January yet. So for January, you just have to stitch 6 hours. So that is by hours every month. So that's going to move month to month. I don't have anything. Well, I do have something in February. So in February, I have the 2020 Get Stitch Done Challenge. The 2020 Get Stitch Done Challenge. This is for the Stitch Talk group as well. Start date February 1st in your time zone. The end date is July 31st. So it goes from February 1st to July 31st. This is going to be moving. For this one, you do not need to keep track of your starting pick on your own. There's no registration. You do need to keep track of your starting pick on your own for the completion file. So this challenge is focusing on completion. So basically, you're going to complete something. I don't know if I'm going to get anything completed this year. I don't know. We'll see. And then in March, the rest of the year, I don't have anything. So these other tabs here are the rest of the year for 2020. And that's kind of how I'm going to keep track of my challenges this year. So, as I've said, I have done some updates. Oh, one of the other things that that I kind of wanted to bring up, Portia Parcher, who does the Heaven and Earth Design Stitch Talk, Heaven and Earth Design Facebook group, she has started a new Facebook group because she is an extreme cross-country full coverage stitcher, which means that she does one color over the entire pattern and the entire piece of fabric before she moves on to the next color. So she goes one color, page to page to page to page, until that color is completely stitched on the entire project. And she does some big projects. So she has started the Extreme Cross Country Stitching Facebook group. And she is going to be uploading videos and showing people how she does extreme cross-country stitching. And it's for people that want to learn, people that want to try, people that do it, or people that just, want to feel inspired to stitch in general. So she just started that Facebook group up not that long, like late last weekend. And it's kind of kicking off. She's, I think, uploaded at least 1 or 2 videos now on how to do extreme cross-country stitching. So I actually did join the group. I don't think I'm planning on doing extreme cross-country stitching, but it's just, there's probably some tips and stuff that I can use from that group because they do a lot of Heaven and Earth designs and full coverage projects. So I could probably use a lot of those tips in that group for my own stitching. So if you're if you're into Heaven and Earth designs and big ass projects, check out the Extreme Cross Country Stitching Facebook group. It is started by Portia Parcher, who does Stitch Talk Haid, and it should be a lot of fun. I think I'm looking forward to it. All right, so those are some plans. There's some new things that I got. I got 2 new magazines the last couple of weeks. I got The World of Cross Stitching. This is the issue 289, January 2020. There's some really cute stuff in here. And the free gift for this, it's really cute. The free gift for this one, come on. The free gift for this is that. Really stinking cute. It's a Doreen Jones. A lot of their free stuff is going to come from Doreen. But yeah, so. And you get, my stuff fell out. But you get the fabric, the floss, and a little card that it goes into. I may actually get into stitching cards for people this year. But yeah, so. Anyway, I got The World of Cross Stitching, January 2020 issue. I got it partly for the Biscornus down here. I want to try stitching some Biscornus this year. That's one of my 2020 goals. Let's see if I can find if there's anything else in here. I thought this cuckoo clock in here was actually really cool. And you actually use a working clock mechanism in it. I thought that was really kind of cool. So I may actually stitch that at some point for the new house. That'd be kind of cool to have a stitch clock for the new house. There's some New Year, Happy New Year patterns in here, which are really kind of cool. I may actually end up, like I said, stitching that New Year's, that clock, the cuckoo clock for the house. That'd be kind of cool. What'd be kind of cool is if I could find the cuckoo, cuckoo, little noise box thing to go in it. So here are the Biscornus. It's the main reason why I got this magazine is for the Biscornu patterns. There's just some other really cute things in here. Things that aren't necessarily Over the Rainbow. This is really cute. Look at that. Look how cute that is. So, all right, we have Over the Rainbow. That's it. That's pretty much it. This little goofy Christmas village is kind of cute. This is by Michael Powell. I just don't know if I would ever stitch something like that. So that is the World of Cross Stitching, January 2020 issue. Put that over here. I also got Cross Stitch Gold. I have a subscription for these. So this is the January-February 2020 issue. So the seasonal sampler that's in here is really cute. You'll recognize the designer pretty much as soon as... Oh, the Santa's on the Way, the advent calendar. That's really cute. That is totes adorbs. Doreen Jones, of course. She has a lot of stuff in these magazines. The Winter Holiday. This is really pretty. But one of the things I really liked about this was the sampler. Also by Doreen Jones. Yeah. So we have the sampler. It's really cute. And I'll probably end up stitching that, or at least stitching some elements of it at some point. And then, of course, Santa coming down the chimney. So, all right. So that's it as far as magazines go. Now, some of you that have gotten keepsakes calendars over the last several years may remember this pattern from Kathy Haberman from Hands On Design. I think she's from Hands On Design. Kathy Haberman. Yeah, you say your name, Haberman. She designed a winter chalkboard pattern for one of the keepsakes calendars. I believe it was Keepsakes Calendar 2018. I believe was the one that she did it for. Might have been earlier than that. But anyway, so here is the chalkboard pattern, the winter chalkboard pattern. It has become available, and you can get it, order it on one of the Facebook groups. I forget now which one, but she also somebody also started a Facebook group called HOD space # Chalk Talk Sal SAL Facebook group. So you search HOD space # Chalk Talk Sal, and you'll find the Facebook group. Chalk Talk Sal # Chalk Talk Sal is all one word. So that's kind of what it looks like right there. Hands On Design, Chalk Talk Sal. It's a Facebook group. So Kathy has announced in one of her recent Flosstube videos that she is going to be releasing 4 more of these, one for each season, because a lot of people seemed really interested in her doing so. So she has announced that coming in 2020, sometime this year, she will be releasing 4 more to go along with this piece. They're all going to be the same size as this. Sorry. This is stitched on 32 count slate Belfast linen, but I'm probably going to get chalkboard linen. So yeah, there's that. All right. So I'm probably going to be doing this sometime this year. I need to get that. It is charted in Weeks Dye Works, Gentle Art Sampler Threads, and Gentle Art Simply Shaker Threads. So yeah, it's really cute though. It is really cute. So that is going in my 2-stitch pile. All right, so that is my new stuff. So now I'm gonna show you some of my updates. So this first one I have here is a Mid-Amish Life. You guys haven't seen this in a little while. Haven't worked on it in a while. It's been probably since the stitching retreat, Camp Got a Stitch, that I went to in November. I think I worked on it just a little bit there. So this was in the Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine. I am stitching this on, do I have the little tag anywhere? No, I don't have the tag on me. So where I was at before. I had not finished this quilt. I had the outside border of the quilt done, but I had not finished this quilt. So I have since finished this quilt, and I have added some of the gray right here for the downspout, and I have filled in some of the siding on this part of the house right here. So I have basically done all the blocks in this quilt. I have done the house colors here, or the house siding here, and I have done some of the downspout here. So that is my progress so far this year on Amid Amish Life. Kind of really like that quilt square. That quilt square came out kind of neat. So yeah, there's my Amid Amish Life. Okay. Like my Ginchi new project, or Ginchi like state-of-the-art project bag. Yeah, now that I have the new one from GaRon, I can see if this Q-snap will fit in there with all my stuff. And maybe I'll put this one in there. So, just to show you, do I have it in here what all three of them together look like? So there's this. As you can see, this is the piece I'm working on. So there's the three of them together. There's 3 pieces in this series. I'm doing them all as one big piece. So what I'm stitching them on is 32 count Mercedes Lugana from Picture This Plus. 32 count Mercedes Lugana. And I have a 16 by 23 cut. Okay. So that is my progress on Amid Amish Life. In my GaRon Tottenbags Downton Abbey bag, if you haven't seen the Downton Abbey movie, go see the movie. This is Frosted Pumpkin, Welcome to Pumpkinville. So what I have done, I've actually done quite a bit on this over the last little while. You'll see my parked threads. So over on this side, I have filled in a lot of the green. I had the green only up to this last L right here under the house and the E. I did all this green. I did the 2 white clouds, and I did this row all the way across. So this was for some of the School of Magical Stitches, you know, stitching into the parks and stuff. So I put in a couple of clouds. I put in some green. I'm working on the green down here. Probably use this for more stitching, but this is also for WIP Go. So I'm making a little bit of progress on the Pumpkinville thing. I'm hoping to get the banner and some of the other squares done in 2020, because I'm actually going to work on probably one of the squares over here, like the squares right here above the banner, the Pumpkinville banner, and stuff like that. So this is where I got Welcome to Pumpkinville. Welcome to Pumpkinville. And this is just the Welcome to Pumpkinville needle minder that we were able to get when we got the fabric for the kit. This is on the called for fabric for the kit. This is, I believe, the 32 count. But welcome to Pumpkinville. There's where I am. And this heart Graham Guard is also a GaRon Tottenbags Graham Guard. So, but it's in my Downton Abbey bag. my Downton Abbey GaRon Tottenbags tote bag. Project bag. Pardon me. Just one of my hairs on here and it's driving me nuts. Okay, so that is another update. Then also in my GaRon Tottenbags, GaRon Tottenbags project bag, this one is Blossom Blade. She's the one that I pulled out for Alphabet Soup. Amid Amish Life I did for Alphabet Soup for A. Blossom Blade is the one I did for her. So here is Blossom Blade by Charting Creations. Little anime type of pattern. Charting Creations, Blossom Blade. So I had started this a couple of years ago one weekend at my in-laws' house. I am starting in this upper corner here. Up here. No, up here. It's up here, I'm sorry, with the trees. So I got some more of the white done. I got several rows of the white done in through here. And I'm adding more pink in the trees. So like this is where one of the trees is at, right here. So I'm adding more of the pink in the trees. This is color 3865. It fills in most of this. So being that this is half stitches, a lot of that fill in will actually go pretty quick. But I pulled her out. I haven't worked on her in a while. I don't think I worked on her at all in 2019. But yeah, this is Blossom Blade. I may actually make this the C starting next week. No, the week after. I just picked her up on the 15th, so it's another 2 weeks. So I may actually keep her around for C for Charting Creations for the Alphabet Soup Semi-Stained Stitchers Stitch Along or challenge. So Blossom Blade, and I am doing this 1/110 stitch. This is just like a piece of mushroom even weave from Michael's or Joann's, whatever you can get from there. But I gridded it with a marker, and the grid lines are fading a little bit, but you can see some of the shading in the pink a little bit. But yeah, Blossom Blade Charting Creations. All right. So that's pretty much everything I have for you this week, you guys. Don't have much else going on, except I do have a little bit of an announcement to make. So, I've been busy the last couple of weeks with my husband and my mom. We've been looking at houses to buy, and 2 weeks ago, we finally put a bid on a house for the three of us to live in together. So we've been going through inspections. We've been going through all kinds of stuff. So hopefully we're submitting some things to remedy paperwork to the sellers tomorrow. So hopefully the some of the stuff that we're asking for they'll come back with. And they accepted our offer. We can come in about $4,000 under the asking price just because we have to redo the floors in the house. We're taking out all the carpet on the main level of the house. It's a 1-story, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, finished basement, fireplace, sunroom, really big sunroom, and it's on almost 3/4 of an acre of land. So we're going to have a huge property to do kind of fun things with. The other thing is I get to look for a riding mower. So, because guess who mows? Me. So, yeah, I get to look for a riding mower because, I am not mowing with a little teeny mower almost an acre of land. So, this come February, March, assuming that everything goes through and we are able to close on the house, I get to go riding mower shopping and learn how to drive a riding mower. So, that'll be fun. But I'm looking forward to it. The house is in a subdivision in Columbus called Minerva Park. So those of you that are local to Columbus, you may know where that's at. But so hopefully in February, tentative close date's January 31st. It's coming up really close, really soon. And so probably I might not be doing very much stitching in the month, towards the next 2 weeks or in February or March, because we're probably going to be moving and cleaning and doing stuff and all kinds of stuff that's involved with moving. So anyway, coming soon, I may or may not be in a new location filming my upcoming videos. So anyway, wasn't really expecting this to be an hour. I'm a little tired. I'm probably just going to upload this without putting it into anything. But anyway, just wanted to touch base with everybody and say thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Keep listening. I haven't forgotten about you. I really appreciate the fact that you listen and watch, and I hope you've gotten something out of this. Other than that, I don't really have a whole lot going on. I forgot my new tagline that I was going to keep saying this year, and I'm sorry. But anyway, so I don't know what my upload video rate is going to be over the next month and a half, because it just really kind of depends on how things go. So anyway, take care. Just know that I'm hoping to continue on some of the progress on some of my WIPs, and I will keep you updated next time. Until then, just keep on and keep it on, because really that's all we can do. I just fell back on my old things. I couldn't remember my new one. Anyway, I'm a little tired. It is going almost on 12:45 a.m. technically Sunday morning, and this video is almost an hour long. So I hope you got something out of it. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.